Frontline Chat with Harry Tanguy and Dave Wardell.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, Thin Blue Paw Foundation. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad it was your bosom there, Dave. That's good.
My fine young bosoms, yes. How are
yes.
you, mate?
Good, I'm good. It's been a bit of a rush. Getting ready for Thin Blue Paw charity dinner next week.
Yeah, mate. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it promises to be amazing, with a few surprises on the night for everybody. So it should be awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, can't wait.
That's good.
In fact, you're
going to dress my door. Yeah, I'm going to be there. I haven't been out of Devon for years. It feels like. Not quite true, but yeah. So I'll get lost when I get out of Exeter. But looking forward to it. Oh. I was in Newquay last week for 5 days, usual thing. And then I came back here at the usual time, Friday afternoon, and thought, that's funny, where's everyone? I can hear music. And I sort of remember that I'd agreed to come home Saturday morning because my kids were having a party in the house. My kids, they're 22. So my daughter was like, oh, right. And I was like, it's okay, I'll go back. She said, you can't go back. So I drove back 100 miles.
Oh, no.
I just thought, to be honest with you, I really enjoyed it. You know, music, full on, Mercedes, my lovely car that I love very much. And I conformed to speed limits at all stages and got home. And I got home to my other home. And so it was good. My mum who's got dementia must have really, exactly. My mum who's got dementia must have been really confused. Say again.
Bless. For those who don't know, Harry's obviously looking after his mum. Can you hear me? Harry is.
Yeah, I can. You're a bit broken.
Harry's looking after his mum who's got dementia, doing an amazing job in. Well done, mate.
Well, no. I mean, it's my sister. My sister's there permanently, but she's got a full-time job. So we're just setting aside 4 months to see what we can do because there's no carers and all that. We've managed to get a carer, a private one. So we're just going to be poor forevermore. But that's how it is at the moment, isn't it? So good, right? Oh yeah. But
you still about what's going to happen with the whole care system? So hopefully it'll get sorted soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, so I can't see it.
No. We're at another event. This time it's Dogfest South at Nebworth in Hertfordshire, which luckily is a lot closer to where we live than Kent. So we've had amazing people. We've done all sorts today. We've done a little turn in the ring with Finn, just talking about his story. He didn't do anything other than just follow his dad around, but he loved that. Tia, bless her, my amazing 11-year-old daughter, she did her first ever presentation in the main ring over there, talking to the crowd about Harper, who was being a little bit of a monkey, but she managed to get some tricks out of her, and she talked about dog training. I then did the police dog show in that ring with Hero and Pearl and a colleague from the dog unit with his 2 dogs. Then what did we do? Obviously the stalls over there. So we had the stall. Where are we looking there? Ooh, it's all back to front over there. We had the stall all day long as well. So Gemma and Kieran are over there with the Thin Blue Paw stall. Then Tia and I had to go off and be interviewed by a sort of internet Instagram dog behaviourist, famous dog behaviourist. And again, Tia just did fantastically. So this guy, this guy's brilliant. He's fully qualified, been to university behaviourist, who's a bit of a star on social media. And he went and asked Tia all these amazing questions, and she answered every single one. It sort of blew her away. So we've had a brilliant day. It's been fantastic for Tia. So, and we're at Dogfest again tomorrow. So busy.
Wow, mate, has been busy because you were just as busy last week as well. Nebworth, the last time I was there, I was listening to Robbie Williams with 135,000 other people at the time, but I was 15 rows from the front. It's just some saying.
What year was that, Harry?
About 1972. Do you know what? I can't remember.
Or the year after we joined Hearts Police. And it caused absolute chaos. It was so busy that people were parking on the A1 and walking through the fields. I kid you not. They had to get recovery trucks to cover all these vehicles. It goes down in history. Funnily enough, a woman came to talk to us today at the tent, and she said the last time she was here was the Queen Festival, which again is one of the legendary Nebworth festivals.
Oh, wow.
I can only wish I was old enough to have gone to see. And again, when you see the aerial photographs of the Queen concert here, it's just absolutely bonkers. Also, Harry, I had someone else come to the stand from Norfolk, please, and she said she tunes into Frontline Chat every week and she absolutely loves it.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's really good. What's this? Will you be at Dogfest North in Cheshire, Dave? I suppose you can't go to them all, can you?
No. So this year, Dogfest decided to do all their festivals in 1 month, which is a great way to do it. But unfortunately, I couldn't get the leave to do them all. So I hope to be able to do something a bit better next year. I'm hoping that Tia takes more of a front row, and I can just drive her there.
I see Jackie says, Harry, we could hear Robbie Williams that night in Tonwell. So I imagine that's quite far away. It took us 5 hours to get out of the car park because there seems to be one gate that leads onto a small road.
That's it. Absolutely. Yeah. Funnily enough, the woman she came to the Queen concert, she said that they came on a coach and their coach broke down and they ended up spending the night in the car park, and it was just another party after the Queen concert. But yeah, I remember the Robbie Williams concert very, very well, not because I was in it, but because I was involved in trying to sort out the mess that was left behind.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good. He is an entertainer, as they say. And he's come through it all, hasn't he? He's been through the drugs bit and he's come out the other end, and he's happy with wives and babies and things, I think. So good. Yeah. Always good to see that, isn't it? Always good to see. We have to mention 9/11. Of course, it's 9/11, basically. It is 9/11 today. So in memory of all the people there who died within those buildings, and the emergency services, of course, that died at the time and since, really, who've never been able to get hold of it. So it's just the aftermath goes on further and further, isn't it? But I think that memorial is really lovely. I do like that. Yeah. I take it that's a permanent feature, is it? Or is it turned on now and then?
Yeah. No, I think it's permanent. I read on the news just now that they've just started reading the names of the victims, and I think that takes quite a while to go through them all. So a very, very poignant, very sad anniversary, but one that needs remembering, because we need to do away with all this extremism. I'm all for people having an opinion, but extremism has no place in society.
This is it. I want to show you something, mate. I want to show you a bit of dog handling. This is for everyone to hear. This happened. West Mids Police. And I tell you what, I might have to go onto better Wi-Fi than this because I forgot to plug it in. So I'm on Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet cable. It's what happens when I'm late. But anyway, we'll bring that on. Here's, let's hope you'll be able to hear it. You might struggle, Dave, because you're... very familiar to you, Dave, if you can see this.
It is, yeah.
They've stop checked a group of people.
Beautiful sound of.
Start lining them up against it.
I love
Jack,
this.
Mr.
You know what's
Adidas
going to
bloke,
happen.
come here, stand in that corner, please, for me.
Mr.
Thank you
Adidas
very
bloke.
much. Just stand there, just that corner, thank you. 3 stops. They stood next to a van. They've got machetes on board. Go! Move! Go, grab him! I've got him. Please, for the dog, stand still! Get him, son, get him!
Get him, son, get him. Yes.
You hear the moment, where he gets held from the baddies.
More officers! Get the dog! Ouch! No, listen. That one off, 1-5 more.
Good release, eh? Good release. There you go. I always think when they stuff those down their trousers, I hope they cut their willies off, but you know.
Good boy.
Great job by the West Midlands dog unit there. Funnily enough, I was up at the West Midlands unit in the pit, having a look at some dogs. Wonderful,
Really?
Wonderful bunch of people.
Oh, whoa.
And you may or may not meet a West Midlands dog handler on Tuesday night, Harry.
I think, oh, really?
You've got some stories to be able to recall when after the event. You've got some incredible stories to recall of these dogs that you're meeting. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
We'll find time to do a little live as well, just to ease people coming up.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do. So, yeah. So the Dogfest. Oh, you see, you got one of my favourite people at the Dogfest as well. I see you got Claire Balding. That's this thing about her. I think she's amazing. I think she's lovely.
She wandered past earlier.
Oh, did she? Yeah, I've got. She's my guilty pleasure.
Oh, really? She actually wrote about Finn. She did a book. Is it last year or this year about 100 hero dogs, and Finn features in her book.
Oh, really? Ah, that's good. So it's really go. Oh, there! I just missed her. There she was. She was on. But anyway, no, I just think she's really good. Yes, mate. What else have we got at the moment in the Twitter side of things? It's been a bit calmer in the police Twitter, or because I've been a bit busy. I've been going back, and I just love you get these. How many of us have been had this situation? You know, can you see that in the sun? So he's got his head on someone's laptop, and they're just stopping them, totally stopping them from working. I love that. We've all been there. We've all been there, haven't we?
I can't work on a laptop with Pearl around because she doesn't have any manners. I say she doesn't have any manners. She just wants to sit on my lap. So if you've got a laptop on your lap, very quickly you'll have a lap spaniel sat in the middle of the lap. It's just not worth it. I don't do any, and that's my excuse. Keeping up to date with my paperwork.
Yeah, that's true. Dave told you. So Alison Victoria said, Dave told you we would tune in, and yes, love listening to Harry and you each week. That's nice. Thank you, Alison. So it's beautiful day there for you as well. It's good that it came right in the end because we've been threatening a bit, hasn't it? Oh, tunnel.
Yeah.
As pronounced as tunnel, not Tonwell. See, we've got a few places around Cornwall. One's called Mousehole, which is spelt mouse hole. And there's plenty. Launceston is actually pronounced Launceston, but also Lanson, you see. So there's plenty. It's all these local names, isn't it? Well, but Tonwell is actually pronounced tunnel. Tunnel, is it?
I say that because Alison, who you just put the comment up, she's from Norfolk, and she lives not far from where my in-laws used to live. And their local beach is called Haysborough, but it's actually spelled Happysburg. So if you're not from, you call it Happysburg. It's corrected to it being called Haysborough. How you get Haysborough from Happysburg, I have no idea.
I'm going to put my Ethernet cable in, everyone. So you might have 3 seconds of darkness as it transfers, but it should be all right. It'll come back. It'll come back. Somebody said I'm breaking up. Harry, you're breaking up.
Breaking up might have been me, so I'm glad it's Harry that's breaking up, because we might get a little bit of silence. Hey, Alison, I'm joking. Mick, I'm not going to say anything, but I hope you're doing well at the moment. You can share with us if you want to. If not, don't worry.
Yeah.
But I hope you're doing well.
Mick, Mick's had bits of him bit fixed, so that's looking good. Hopefully, we all stop breaking after a while, don't we?
I need. But I was talking about Finn earlier to someone, and I was saying, oh yeah, and he's got arthritis in his knees, and his hips aren't quite as good as they used to be, and he's got a bad back. And I said, and Finn's also got arthritis too, because everything's starting to fall apart now. I'm getting older, Harry.
Someone's asked how old Finn is.
12 and a half. So
he's
84, 88 or something in doggy years. So he does well.
Now, you work them until they're 8 years old. So why is that?
So generally speaking, the German Shepherd type dogs work until they're 7 or 8. Usually starts getting reviewed at 7. And if they're fit and strong and healthy, they go on to 8. They actually asked if I would keep Finn on till 9 after his incident. I said, nope, he's retiring. He's got nothing to prove. But their work tends to be quite impactive. So by the time they get to 8, they're just starting to feel it a little bit. So I think it's important to retire them so they have a decent retirement, like Finn has. The Spaniels tend to go on a little bit longer because their work is less impactive. So Pearl, touch wood, Pearl will work until she's about 9 or 10. But she wouldn't have it any other way, if I'm honest. It's just, for her, it's just a big barrel of laughs. She loves it. So yeah, they tend to work
Yeah, that's good, because that's the whole point, isn't it? Because you work them, because in the wild they'd have been a lot more active, wouldn't they? Dogs would be generally, they'd be hunting for their food. If they didn't, they'd die, they'd starve. So they'd be wearing it. So now they tend to have a life of leisure when people just decide to take them for a walk or whatever. So they're doing what they would naturally have done a lot more. But it does mean joints and things tend to wear out, which means is why you are where you are today, is because that's a charity that helps those. Some forces have local charities that help, but a lot of the forces don't have local charities to help. And you actually help all the forces, I believe, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We've had people come to us who have got a local charity, and for whatever reason, unfortunately, the local charity hasn't been able to help them. And we've stepped in and helped. We've also lent support to a couple of local charities who just needed a little bit of help and a little bit of a boost. So we do cover. We also cover the military police dogs, the MOD police dogs, civil nuclear police dogs. We cover everywhere.
And how do you select them?
So they apply to us. There's a form on our website. Sorry.
How do you? Sorry, my misunderstood. But although that's an interesting question, how do you select puppies to become police dogs? Sorry.
Good question. Yeah, so there are a few forces around the country that still have a breeding program. West Midlands is one. That's why we were up there in the week. Surrey have one. So Finn's from West Midlands, Heroes from Surrey, and there are a few other forces that have breeding programs. The Met obviously do. They're probably the 3 biggest breeding programs, and there are some smaller breeding programs as well. We have some dealers that we've worked with for years. Lots of forces have relationships with certain dealers, dog dealers, and dog trainers. And now and then a gift dog. Someone will ring up and say, you know what, I've got this spaniel that's climbing the walls, or I've got this German Shepherd that wants to eat the grandkids, or whatever it might be. And we'll have those dogs in on assessment to see whether we think they're suitable for a life in the police.
Yeah. Cool. Good. Okay, mate. So it comes from various places, and you'll just have a look at them. But I know there's some police dogs that don't quite fit the bill in the end, but so they go off for ownership. And actually, you've got a really good dog that is far better than the average domestic dog as far as skills, obedience, and that side of things. But maybe they just don't like loud bangs or something. That's it. It could be as simple as that, couldn't it?
Yeah, we do ask an awful lot of our police dogs. We ask them to do a whole multitude of things. They don't come to us and do one thing. I guess you could say the search dogs have one task, but they've still got a lot of work to do. Like Pearl's trained on 22 different scents, and she's got to be at home in every single environment. So, you know, it could be that the dog, you know, isn't keen on jumping up on counters or slippery surfaces, and they could potentially fail for that reason. When it comes to the Shepherdy type dogs, we ask them to do a lot of stuff, and some dogs actually, you know, good learners and can take on multi-role training, and other dogs can't. You know, we've had dogs before that get partway through a course and then go, you know what, I don't think this is for me, and they go on you know, lovely home as a pet, and then you end up with, you know, a dog like Finn and a dog like Hero, who they were bred for it. That's all they ever want to do. They love it from the minute it starts to the minute it ends, and actually they don't hate going home because they love home, but they never want to get back in the van. They always want to stay out because they were just full of it. And those are the sorts of dogs that we're going to be recognising on Tuesday, Harry.
Good, excellent. And of course, people often ask me about armed response. Or, you know, do you have to do that policey thing first? Well, yeah, we're not security officers with guns, and it's the same with dog handling. You have to be a really good copper first. And so, generally speaking, certainly in Hertfordshire, how long is it roughly? You've got to, first of all, you've got to want to be a police officer first, and then you've got to be a good one. Get all your basics correct, all your searching, all your safety, that side of things. And you've got to be keen as mustard, not moan every time you get a job. And then what sort of, it's tough. It's a tough thing to apply for. And sometimes people call it dead men's shoes, but I've seen enough turnover. There's a fair bit of turnover, probably more so than in traffic, because people get injured, they get bad backs, their dogs come to the end of term and they think, well, I don't want to do another term, you know, and they move on, don't they? And it does leave space. But how long roughly do you think?
A very good friend of mine retired yesterday, having done probably just over 20 years on the dog section. An incredible dog handler. Maybe he's not as fast as he used to be, but his dogs certainly are. He retired. He had his last night shift last night, and you know, he is a loss to our youth. But he's going to go off and have a wonderful retirement up the coast somewhere. Take one of his dogs with him. But you know, I mean, that just goes to show he did over 20 years in the dog unit. So, you know, I've been 12 years. I've got 11 years to go. Unless they kick me out, I'm going to do those 11 years on the dog unit. So I will have done 23, 24 years on the dog unit. So I was in for 7 years and had done two different roles. Probably about 4 different roles before I got to dogs. But my aim was always to be a dog handler. Everything I did was to get to be a dog handler. And the biggest thing really is you need to prove that you can work on your own, because you're always going to be on your own. I know you've got your dogs with you, but you're always on your own. You're never double crewed unless it's public order or something. And you need to show you can take responsibility for your actions. You know, whether your actions were right at the time and subsequently turn out to be wrong. That's happened to us. We took the actions that we took on several jobs. It was the honest held belief that the actions that we took were right in those circumstances. And then once we had the full picture, we realized that actually it wasn't the right decision, but at the time it was. And we held our hands up and we said, this is the information we had, which made our decision making correct. You have to hold your hands up. You can't hide stuff. Crikey, hiding stuff is why cops get into trouble. So prove you can work on your own. You're very rarely supervised, so like Harry said, it's about staying motivated, getting out there and pushing on, because when firearms go into the nick at 1 o'clock in the morning for a snooze, joking, that's when the dog handler really does come into their own. And you know, Harry will tell you your body at 4 a.m. is begging you to go to sleep, and then that's when you get the intruders on and you've got to go running through people's gardens. So but
it's all weathers as well. All weathers, nights. I quite liked a job really late at night because it sort of broke the back then of the rest of the night. You needed something to just pump enough adrenaline in.
Job of the night, that's it.
I used to always like that. And you'd always get your lazier cops who just want to hang around and do as little as possible, because there's nothing sort of worse sometimes, and especially when it involves paperwork. You're due off at 7, you get a job at 6:30. We'd get a job that was like a collision that was sort of an hour away, and you were like, oh no, okay, right. And then you just had to find that adrenaline and find that, and then crack on, really. But the old nights. I mean, nights have helped me recently because my mum's up and about quite a lot of nights, and I tend to do the nights so that my sister is fresh for her work during the day. So it's used to, when you're going through every night and you're having the longest lump of sleep you get is 3 hours, and then you have sort of 20 minutes of activity and then back to sleep. It does knock you out, doesn't it? It does knock you out. Yeah. But there we are. It's life, but they say it takes 10 years off your life shifts, but I'm not so sure. Really helps that I think my wife did all the school hour jobs around me, so I didn't have to then wait up in order to take the kids to school before I went to bed, like so many do in all emergency services side of things, so yeah, there we go.
That's how it
works. So what do you think Tia's going to be, your daughter? How do you think she's going to be a dog trainer? Is she going to be in the policing world? Do you know? Has she said anything?
Tia, this is going to sound really bad, but I hope. Oh, this is going to sound really bad. I hope she doesn't go into. Honest, I really. There's such a massive world of dog training out there. For instance, here we've got guide dogs, we've got therapy dogs, we've got other assistance dogs. We've got some of the big animal welfare charities here. There's a huge world of dog training out there. And I hope she sort of gets to absorb it and suck it all in and then make her own decisions. The only way I was probably going to get into dog training and handling was through the police. But I will do my best to support her in whatever she wants to do. I personally, her though, she decides she wants to join the police, I will support her. But I hope she doesn't.
No, I can see what you mean. No, I can see what you mean. It is in a bad place at the moment. I mean, I don't put people off from joining, but as with Greg Johnson here, so posted on here a few months ago as I was applying for PC in Dorset. So they're in alliance with Devon and Cornwall, my old force. Pleased to announce I'm now in my initial training. So congratulations on that. Question is, when I can, where am I applying? Dogs or firearms? All the best. Do you know what? I just think it was 50-50 for me almost, and it's only because I thought my wife wouldn't let the dogs go out when it was raining that I thought this is going to be a fighting battle. I better join firearms. But I love the dog units. She'd have had them in the bed and everything. John says do firearms then dogs. I mean, there is a possibility as well.
We've got lots of old firearms officers that have come over to the dog unit. I don't think it tends to go the other way quite so much. I think what happens is that, please don't, no one shoot me down. Harry might shoot me down. I think lots of people go to the firearms because it is great. It is exciting. The courses are incredible, very hard and very stressful. And they get all the kit and they do have the money thrown at them and they swagger around with their hair back and their aviator sunglasses, and they are wearing the best kit and they do have the world-class training, but they see us on the dog unit running around with our amazing dogs, getting incredible results, having a massive buzz, causing mayhem wherever we go, and lots of them think, you know what, I want to go and do that. And so we have quite a few firearms officers that come to the dog unit.
I think firearms officers, they join the firearms unit and then they realise it's really hard work. So then they thought, semi-retire in the dog unit. But so but no, there's another thing there. There's another thing is that we actually work very closely with dogs. Dogs and firearms work closely together with the firearms dog side of things. And so we would do building entries in particular, and the dogs would have literally camera on their back, and there'd be a screen being watched, and then there'll be an AFO, authorized firearms officer, with the dog handler, and that dog is going at the front of that row of firearms officers to then search. And they're very clever the way they're usually very quiet, and they then go away from the handler and search and then come back. So that handler will know with the dog very much so. There's a very good chance that room is very empty, and so that's the time then we can search it. But if there was someone in there and they thought they were going to shoot, they wouldn't send the dog in. It's here's my one of my I enjoy this. I loved having the dogs. This is my dog for the day. In fact, no, he was my dog for 30 seconds for the photo to be taken, but that was on my training day. I love the dogs. I love the dog units, and I was just I'd love to do that in his second life.
Yeah, I think also what happens is, the firearms team turn up to these jobs, and it's all very strict, and they're all getting pushed around and stand there and do that, and that's your role, and you're doing this, and the dog handler walks in, and the bronze says, "Can your dog do that?" And you're like, "Nope," and you turn around and walk away.
Yeah. Well, they've asked for the wrong dog. They'd asked for a firearms dog sometimes, and a firearms dog in the old days used to be that they used to sniff out for firearms, didn't they? So the gunpowder or whatever, the residue or whatever, the gun oil, I think, isn't it? Gun oil or whatever. But you just went quiet then.
Oh, it's just saying, it's a combination of stuff that they sniff out for, but
right.
Gun oil, one of them.
Yeah, they are the best. And I used to love. This is when I was on training. I would always get my phone out and take a photo. You just got to see. They said this is before he took my throat out.
Yeah.
It's got that look in his eyes. I think that was a Dorset dog, if I remember right, that we were training with. And that's the other thing, of course. It is very, it's national based. So it's where the College of Policing actually does come into its own, is that there is that for firearms and for dogs, there is that national training, so that if we go over each other's borders and we have to do a job, we know exactly what's going on. Oh, Maria, thank you. You came and joined us for the day. You came out of hospital to join us for the day. So thank you. I hope we've just caught you.
Yeah.
Local anesthesia is wearing off and painkillers are kicking in. See you in a fortnight, Dave, with my Chief Fuzz Monster for Tracking course by Harry too. All right, Maria Kills. Well, good luck. There's obviously a bit broken with you as well. So I hope all these broken people are getting fixed nicely. And look, well, you have to put this one up, don't you? You see, get rid of the captions. Right, get rid of the captions. Most annoying and wrong words too often. I had to put that one up, didn't I?
We've got a tracking private course coming up soon. So Maria's coming down with her dog. She's already done a number of scent courses with us. Her dog is absolutely amazing. Fantastic. Maria's rubbish, but her dog's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't hear that. But yeah, she's coming down to Hearts for a tracking course with Gemma and myself over in Buntingford.
Good. And I did taught mine to track as well, which the video is if you search on YouTube for Arthur Tanguy tracking, then you'll come up with his tracking. It looks ridiculous. He's a tiny little dog, really. He's a border terrier size, and he's a really good little tracker. But if only it was that simple to be a police dog. But it's a lot more involved, isn't it? But
yeah, it is. Yeah, Hero and Pearl and my colleagues' dogs wowed the crowds earlier. It was amazing. Everybody. It's lovely to see the little spaniels doing their work, but everybody just turns up to watch the criminal get nailed. Really.
They do. Don't it? It's just something about that powerful. I mean, if having been pulled off my feet by a couple of dogs now, including Finn. Yeah. What an honor that was. That was in Dartmouth. And it does literally take you off your feet. And that guy, Mr. Adidas, you could tell he was like, oh, no, like, get him off, get him off. It's like, the joke's over now. It's like, get him off, wasn't it? It was very, very, that's it, get him off now. And there'll be a few little, he'll be on antibiotics for a bit as well, because the dog's teeth can, have bacteria and things like that. But they'll give them their chance. If they run away, they've got to pay the bill, haven't they?
You do it once. You only run away from a police dog once. You never do it again.
Exactly, mate. And they'll only do it from a firearms officer to was the sniper's thing was a rifle officer's quote was you can try running away, but you only die tired. So who's this?
Live on Frontline Chat.
Hi, Harry.
Hey, yeah, hello. hello. Who have you got with you?
He's walking around.
Nice one.
Frontline Chat on a
Oh, we've just gone into affinity now then. So who's So is this some skilled tracker, this one, I take it?
Buddy and Harry.
came over and said hello to us. It's from Norfolk. And
I'm not stalking him, honestly.
I need anyone. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, the dog's off. Dog's off looking for food.
Bye.
See you later.
Right. Well, because Labradors are very like that, aren't they? Or retrievers. Retrievers they eat anything they see, don't they?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas Arthur's a bit more choosy, really, to be honest.
There you go. If you come along to wherever Dave is live or Harry is live, you can get yourself a Frontline Chat.
Yeah. Do it. So, I'm going to be looking for a few more guests with Frontline Chat as well. And next, and very much on the policing side of things. I'd like to go into a few more police forces and get some people talking about their departments and things. Like we've had divers, we've had obviously dogs. We had not police, but we've had air ambulance, of course.
The mountain section.
The mountain section. Yeah, we did. God, I'm just cooking in this room. I need to open this door. Nick Hadley said he'd do it, Chief Constable of Northampton, but I just need to prize him through the door. A quick shout out for if you've got and you know anyone whose kids are, I say kids, young adults is the term, isn't it? But there'll be kids when they're 54 if they're your child, aren't they? But is if they're learning to drive or they're passengers in cars by boyfriends or girlfriends who are driving them around, then Learn to Live parents is basically on Monday. I'm chairing a meeting there, and not a meeting. I'm chairing a panel where people can ask their questions, but it's really going into the which sort of driving instructors to choose, what cars to choose, how the telematics can help, black boxes, insurances. Fact that there's a big thing about, you can pass your test within a week if you do an intensive course. And we're saying really that is the last thing you want to do. You want longevity of learning slowly as you go along. And actually, so we'll be discussing a lot of things and giving people a lot of information there. There's only an hour and it's on Monday evening. And if you go Learn, Live, YouTube, Learn to Live, and go on there. It will be there at night. I think it's 6:30, 7 o'clock. So it'd be good to see. It'd be really useful for people just to come up on that one. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Is your day finished? Is Tia's day finished where you are now, Dave?
It is, mate. Yeah, I'm getting nagged to go and pack up because I think we're supposed to be leaving soon and they're going to kick us out.
Well, that's fine because we did do half an hour later. So I think we'll probably finish this about 1:15 now anyway. So if it's helping you finish stopping from packing up, then it's great. We'll keep you here longer.
I got away with it last week by doing from Kent as well. So we just need to arrange to do it every week. Every time we're at an event, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, this is it. Andrea, yes, you don't do a crash course in driving. Did I? I bet I called it that. But it sort of could end up with a crash course because, and the other thing is, of course, it's like Jackie's actually said here, you never stop learning, Harry. One of the friends is a driving examiner. Well, some people drive in the same way they always have every day. And some people learn to be a slightly better driver every day. It's a bit like being a dog owner. You either take your dog and both of you don't learn anything more each day, or you give it a little bit more training, a bit more consistency, so they get more and more obedient, that side of thing. Arthur was starting to get really terrible at his heeling. And I was in Newquay, and he's very rarely on a lead because we live near some woods. So he goes along the pavement, and he's in the woods, and with me, and he. So I just did the old dog biscuit, and got him to heel by putting the biscuit right close to him before biscuit, and then heel, and then he just related that to a biscuit, and now he's spot on again. That's just after a day, after an hour, really. They soon get it, don't they?
Life, yeah, they do, mate. They definitely do. Just get it right, find the right motivation for them, and they're doing well.
Right. Well,
shout out to Claire's dad. She said, Claire Thomas said her dad's poorly and he loves watching us every week. Well, I hope he gets better soon. And
okay, Claire's dad. There's another person with a broken bit. Then there's lots of broken people about, and we hope they all get fixed soon. My dad loves watching both of you every week, and he's in hospital. He's very poorly in the local hospital. It's such lovely comfort watching you both. Well, Mr. Thomas, or we might not be Mr. Thomas. So whoever you are, but Claire Thomas's dad, it's a real get well soon on that one. We shall will you along. Good, thank you, Jojo. Saying Joe, Dave.
I can't see you on the screen.
This is like Gus Honeybun. Oh, I am on there. Stephanie Warren says, Dave, can you give 5 hugs from me, please? It's not Gus Honeybun. Do you remember that, Dave? Are you too young?
Too young, mate.
When you ask Gus Honeybun for 5 bunny hops and have their birthday read out.
Hey, Rob. Hey, too old, rather. I'm too young. No, don't know what you're talking.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, we'll let you get off because you've got to go off and actually help some people do stuff. But hopefully they've finished it.
Got to go and find a beer with my name on it. I'm gasping.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's getting winter. Hey, Tia. Tia, how are you?
Not helping. There's Lynn as well.
Jem.
Another
good. Look at you. Nice to see you. Look. See, it's fun. Look exactly like your bio photo. Same smile.
Yeah, they're exactly like your bio photo. Same smile.
Can't wait, Dave. Cannot wait to see you on Tuesday. I know it's going to be busy for you. It's going to be good. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. Good look. So I'll catch you later, Dave. You take care. Love to the family, and well done for Tia for doing all so well.
God. Oh, God. Thank you, guys. Take care. See you soon. Hope to bring you lots of news on Tuesday. Take care.
Yeah, nice one. Take care, buddy. See you then. He's a good. Do you know what? I've known Dave not a massive length of time since 2016 because I did the Police Twitter Awards and won the Police Twitter Awards that Mike Pannett and those guys did, and that's how I got to know Mike Pannett. And then Dave was there, and so it was a big vote, and then a panel would choose at the last sort of 4 or so. And quite rightly with Dave, what he was doing, Dave won it the second year. So it's just really good friendship ever since. Really, it's a lovely guy, as you all know. It's a good bunch. And I think most of the names here on these comments and things are all good people that I've met, most of them, and it's just really nice to have people around and having a bit of a chat, get together. Sorry I was late. I am between Newquay and Torquay. I do Newquay for 5 days, Torquay for 2 days. I love Newquay, I must say. I do love it. But there we go. So, but it's all up in the air at the moment. So I'm sort of leaving it 4 months to see. I've done a month already to see where we're going to go with the situation. But hey, old age is a bugger, isn't it? Old age is a bugger. But we're all right. We're good place. It's lovely to be so much along with my sister as well, who I haven't been with or seen for so long. So we're a good little team down there. Yeah, Jackie, you love Newquay as well. I mean, but some people say, "Oh, you don't want to go into town," but no, actually, the town's great. It's got rid of it's not so many stag doos there and whatever, if that's not your thing. But it is a lovely place, and the Cornish coast. And I've got to say, wave runners. It is a bit expensive, but if you really want to spoil yourself, they get the jet skis from Lusty Glaze, where I walk up to Lusty Glaze with my mug of tea, my mug of coffee in the morning when I get up, in my flip-flops or bare feet. You just walk everywhere in bare feet there. And look down in Lusty, and it looks absolutely stunning. And sometimes they have weddings down there, and the beach is shut, and I'm like, but it's beautiful. The coast is absolutely stunning. Sunny or rainy. My sister and I pushed our mum, who is in a wheelchair now. She can, she'd fall over if you'd let her, you see. So she can walk, but for a big area, we actually got her on Porth Island, which is otherwise known as Trevelgy Island. I don't think a pushchair. I don't think a wheelchair has been up there in 50 years ever. It's really difficult, and we got her up there. I think people suspected we were going to get rid of her over the end, but so we were determined to get her up there. Fistral Beach. I tell you what, anyone who does Newquay, just get some fish and chips from a really recommended fish and chip place, and go to Little Fistral. Go on the little bench there, and you can see up and down the coast. Just stunning. Winter or summer, just wrap up more in the winter. Yeah. I mean, I feel for you. Dad has been ill for. My dad was ill for 15 years. Pace yourselves and remember the carers must have got. Yes, that's true indeed. We've been very lucky with one carer who is coming in and helping. Very lucky, very professional, experienced, lovely way about her. Mum loves her to bits already, so that's good. It's all going in the right direction. Well, Gabby, that seems to be a story down there, Gabby. What's this? I've had some great times in Newquay. We all knew what the sort of place Newquay was in the past. You know, I was there as well, you know. Sorry, Gabby. What are you insinuating? There's lots of pubs and nightclubs and happy times, lots of late night beach swimming, sometimes with no clothes, that sort of thing, 1 a.m. Completely irresponsible when you've had a drink. Don't do it, kids. Like Julie, sorry to hear that, but that's a really good age, isn't it? Lovely mum passed you last year, age 96. She had lived well with dementia for 8 years. But died with COVID. Oh, bless her heart. That's horrible, isn't it? And I mean, dementia seems to be everywhere. It seems like everyone's relative has had it. It's a real getting a lot more positive, and we learned things. I mean, just for example, my mum said, I bought some pasties, and she could smell the pasties there, and she went, we had pasties today already, haven't we? We've had pasties today. And usually you say, no, we haven't had pasties, we're going to have them. And that brings some sort of confusion and a frustration, and then it can turn to anger. So I say, it was the first time I managed to do it, I went, no, yeah, Mum, yeah, we've had pasties, but I've got another half. Do you want another half? And she went, oh, yeah, that would be nice. And that's the sort of way to do it. I actually mentioned a dementia person in here, and I learned that from the police. The Cornish Scoop is a true story where somebody went missing. And police go to a lot of dementia in the middle of the winter, 2 degrees, in a nightie. The lost person search managers are fantastic. They've basically done courses, and they know for this particular thing. No, don't quote me on this one, but I'm quite sure it was dementia usually go downhill and in a straight line. And so that's the first places you look to sort of get to because they've got a big book that says, statistically speaking, 90 people are found in this sort of scenario or this place or whatever. So it's really, really clever thing. But of course, they'll call Dave out, the dog unit. He'd come out. ARVs, we've got infrared night sights and that side of things. And I found one person through that. Without a doubt, they would have died. Dog handlers, left, right, and centre, picking up people from the woods, hidden under beaches, bushes in the middle of the winter in a night dress. They would have died without a shadow of a doubt. Wouldn't have made it an hour, let alone till morning. And yet the dog units found them, and they go on to another job afterwards. That's how it is. It doesn't come as a statistic. So when several years ago, most forces, not Devon and Cornwall, most forces were cutting their dog units by 50%, including the Met. People were like, no, don't do it, because when that dog is on a job and they can't then go to another job, you can't put it in half, sort of thing. So but anyway, it seems to be a positive side to how to deal with things, and there's a lot of very good people. On Thursday, I'm going in Newquay called Purple Angels. I'm going to go see someone on Thursday at the British Legion. I think they meet there. A friend of mine, John Goodman, invited me to that one, so I'm going to have a go along and see what we can do. Just really hit it hard at the moment and get things positive. See if we can keep her out of care home. That'd be lovely. That's what we want to do, and I think I'm quietly optimistic. Lots of good ages here. Silent Rose in Australia, I know you are, died at 89. It's that quality of life I worry about, isn't it? It's that we all want to... I went to a sudden death once when the gentleman... No, I didn't go. I remember Copper came in, he went, oh, that's how I want to go. And I don't know how it's got to deaths now. He said, oh, and we went, why? What's the matter? He said, oh, I've just been to this sudden death. Beautiful sunny day, little rural area, and is like husband and wife in their 80s. And the wife has made cooked a Sunday lunch. And they've had their Sunday lunch. And so he's like, oh, he's all full up. So he goes out and he sits in the garden and he just looks at the garden and he just fades away. And you just think, oh, that's how you want to go, isn't it? Yes, John, that's exactly it. And many a time, that's exactly it. They go under a hedge to find shelter, and it is straight lines and downhill. The area of least resistance tend to be, so of course helicopters come out and everything is because it's really running against the clock. If you took your clothes off and ran out on a winter's day, you would suddenly realise. And of course, many elderly people are very transparent. She's so slim, she's very thin. That's why they feel the cold so much. But yeah, luckily she's adorable, very adorable, and no frustration or anger or anything like that, which at the moment. So that's really, we've got it easy. Always on the path. Thank you, John. So you obviously know some of that. Always on the path of least resistance. So that's dementia. So in that book, it was the question of just not questioning them, not contradicting them, just go with it. It was one, and I remember listening to a Radio 4 thing, and then I was standing in this kitchen talking to this guy who was in his 40s. He was so frustrated. He says, because his mother used to leave the house and walk to her previous house. And I said, oh, I just don't know. And I say, Mum, this isn't our house anymore. And she's like, can you imagine someone saying to you where you're living, you don't live here, you've got to leave? You would kick off, wouldn't you? And that's exactly what happens. And in dementia, if you've got two people removing your clothes and you don't know them, you're going to kick off, aren't you? And if you're too weak to fight, what are you going to do? You're going to bite, aren't you? So a carer that's coming to help us, she said, I tend to use the same perfume. So as they get to trust the perfume, it's the senses, the smell that they trust. So it sort of takes down that barrier straight away. And then also to very much ask them, is it all right if I do this? How would you like, are you happy to? I always just like, there's a top. Which one do you want? Do you want the white one or the blue one? Choose the blue one. So yeah. And Julie, they do. Dog handlers, I can't praise them enough. The lives they have saved. Yes, and so that is, and it's a lot easier for everyone if you just go along with it. Because sometimes they say, "Oh, is dinner ready yet?" And you think you've just had dinner, and you go, "Oh, it'll be ready in 5 minutes. Be ready in 5. Oh, okay." And then they go away. And if they're in that situation, they forget within that 5 minutes. And very rarely do they come. You said it would be ready in 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes. So, but obviously you have to figure, I wonder if they're hungry. Do you want some food now, though? We haven't got dinner, but do you want some food now while you wait? And then you know if they're hungry or not. It's that. And when my sister and I, we look at each other and we go, and when I said something like, oh, well, yeah, we did have pasties, but do you want another one? I'm like, yeah, see that? Do you see what I did then? We're scoring points on each other. And it's great. There's no hostilities and stuff. So it was really good. Really good. So anyway, I'm ranting on about dementia. I promise I won't again. I'm looking forward to, well, I can't promise I won't again all the time. But it is on Newquay on the coast, and it's just like, we swim. One of us looks after Mum, the other one just swims from across onto the Porth Island and, swims back. Arthur goes, I've got to get some video of it. Arthur, my dog, he loves surfing because he likes it in the pool on the board. If you look at search YouTube Arthur surfing pool, then you'll see what he did. He was on the side of the swimming pool. He jumped on the board and then jumped out the other side of the pool, having the board being moved across to the other side. He loves swimming, water and stuff. So yeah, I go surfing. So I got on a polystyrene board, not polystyrene, a foam board. And so I'm holding like that, catch the wave, and he's sitting there in front of me like that with his little wet ears. And we go along the wave like that. People are like, what? And we did that like 5 times. He looks like a drowned rat, mind you. So hopefully, yeah, Gary Arthur is amazing, but he is, yeah. So he loves the surfing. Julie, thank you very much. We have got plenty now on that, but I appreciate it. It's very kind of you, Julie. Here we go. I had to cook, so Dad could not smell food until it's in front of him. Otherwise, the smell filled him up. Oh, wow. Okay. We're talking about this. Some people, because I can, if I'm really starving and if I have some tiny little bit of food, that could really take my appetite away. The smell filled him up. Yeah. Yeah, look at the pool one on that one. But I try to get a video of him surfing. But I certainly will with him going across. He does his like paddle boarding, but on a foam board. But he doesn't paddle board. I haven't taught him that good. But the one on the pool, that made me a bit of money. It made me £1,000. Some company licensed it. And they use it for advertising and stuff. 4 checks for £250. So Arthur he goes into Pets R Us and he's allowed to choose a toy of his choice. It's like a supermarket trolley dash. But I said that should include gerbils and rabbits as well. But Becky wouldn't have that. She wouldn't. She said no, it's got to be artificial and fluffy. So, I thought, well, he's earned the money. He deserves it. But I chose the memories of Newquay. Memories of Newquay. So there you go. Talk about there. To mention that the Cornish Scoop it's based in Penporth, Newquay. That's Trevey, lives in Newquay. Did his probation there, has moved to Penporth in the early 1990s, which, funny enough, is very similar to me. You see, this is wonderful. I cared for my mum, and she was so content and didn't know she had dementia. That means you've got it right. It's just then sometimes you think they're absolutely fine. You think, well, what's the point? Do we get a visitor? And she's like having really in-depth conversations. You think, oh, we've got this wrong. And then it'll be something really just random and simple that can go completely haywire. And you go, yeah, okay. Yeah, and that's why it's in the government, isn't it? As people live longer, so more illnesses seem to be everywhere. It's true. It's got to be paid for, isn't it? So I think they're asking the young people to pay for it now so that in 30 years' time, when they're a bit older, there will be some money. But will there? Seems to be quite common. My mum lasted 10 years with dementia, the last 3 in a home as she needed 24/7 nursing. Yeah, that's it. And that's the problem, isn't it? It's when your nights and days are taken up. And if you're not a full-time carer yourself, because we know her house could go in caring fees. So you sort of write that off, even though she's worked hard to get it and whatever and that side of things, but that's done. We can't change that. That's how it is. So it's really important then that my sister has her job and that we keep her job. And that's why I sort of am down there so that I'm in an ideal situation at the moment, really, where I'm doing a lot of my work is sort of online, doing the books, get a bit of money in from the books and that side of things. But I'll probably have to get a proper job soon or in a while. Oh, right. Thank you. Jake died at 89. Yeah, good price. My dad died at 79. I feel a bit cheated by that, Had a couple of strokes. Yeah, so there we go. Right. Sense of humor. She is very funny. She's got some cracking one-liners. I just wish I remember them. She kept her sense of humor too and came out with some wicked stuff. She's so sweet, very endearing as well. We wind her up because she doesn't like being hugged. So we give her lots of hugs. And she's like, oh, get off. Yeah. So I think 1729. Thank you very much for being my counselling session today, everyone. I really appreciate it. And it's lovely to see Dave earlier, and he's being active out and about. I'm going to share a pint with, well, not because COVID and he could be like diseased and stuff. No, I'm going to be sharing a pint with, or having a pint with Dave, and we're going to do a bit of a live thing, I think. Yeah, just a few minutes of live thing when we're at the Thin Blue Paw charity do. Take it easy. Thank you, John, for your contribution and that side of things as well, and everyone else's. I've just lost you, John. Oh yeah, there you are. Yeah, thank you for contributions and confirming what I suspected, but you're always worried you got it wrong, and then put someone down the garden path. But good. Thank you for. It's a little bit mixed up and about and all this sort of thing. And to be honest, I wasn't able to prepare anything because it's been a bit hectic. So it's been emotional, everyone, and have a lovely week. Stay safe out there. Yeah. Oh, and join the Learn to Live parents thing if you know, or tell someone about it. Learn word to number live on Monday. Look at their Twitter. It will be on my Twitter, and it will be, I think, 7 till 8. Just check it's not 6:30. I think that's 6:30 when we're meeting, and then it's 7 to 8. Really, really useful. Could save you some money. Certainly could get your kids, grandkids, friends' kids along a lot safer Learn to Live, because you're 5 times more likely in the first year to be involved in a collision if you're between 17 and 24. And you can avoid that. So there we go. Love to see you. Right, I've got to see where it is. Right, that's it. Bye. Bye.